And normally I would say what show this is, but this is just a We Are Live. This is doing something a little bit different than I wanted to do. XXL Freshman List just came out earlier this week. Found it kind of funny and awkward that normally it comes out in April and May. I literally brought it up last Saturday on the pod. Literally came out on Monday morning. Thought that was a little odd. Needless to say, though, 2023 XXL Freshman List has came out. I do still pay attention to it very strictly, and this year I happen to pay a little bit more attention than I have in the previous years. I ended up checking it out and wanted to actually dive into their catalogs. I'm able to do so, which is very cool. I have a lot of fun doing so. Um, some of the artists I didn't get into as much as I, of course, would want to. And some artists I ended up actually being very pleased with that I never heard of before a day in my life. And there were some people on there I thought rightfully deserved it. Some people I thought got snubbed. But on that note, before we even dive into it, just in case you don't know who I am, I love telling you. It's El Tucker Tente, the ultimate motherfucking sensei, the one who, of course, taught Bruce Lee everything he motherfucking knows, aka Space Mountain Stony, aka Stony Montana, aka Bed Burgundy. Why? Because they snoo on your boy, aka Young Dumbledore, the lyrical wizard. I'm kind of out here sounding like Steve-O this week, but you know who it is. It's Mr. Keep the Love High and the motherfucking Hate Low, and you can call me what you will, just don't call me broke or sad. And on that note, let's just dive right into it head first, like Taylor Swift on stage. Let's just go right into it. Pull up a chair. Episode 44 will be tomorrow. Lot to cover, and I'm excited for it. Sleepless Radio, episode 149 tonight. Looking really forward to that as well. Pearl Jam versus Stone Temple Pilots. I can see we got a couple people in here already excited for that. But I'm excited to go over the freshman list. But before I give my list and go into all that, let's just go with the official list, what we actually got at hand here. So take it from the top, the 10 names that they had this year, which the first XXL freshman cover, for those that don't know the history, came out in 2007. Wale was the leader of the cover. Um, Bunch of prestigious talent has came through. There's been some that were never XXL freshmen, so it shows that you don't need it to justify your career as a hip hop artist. I mean, Drake didn't use it, Nicki didn't use it, plenty of people didn't use it. But at the same time, we also got great ciphers from people like Kendrick Lamar, Mac Miller, Schoolboy Q, Machine Gun Kelly, even Hobson snapped, even Yellow Wolf snapped on their freshman freestyles. And it's always cool to see who I guess you could say XXL refers to as next up. Well, here we go. The 10 artists that they have are Tia Kareen, Too Rare, Finesse Two Times, DC the Don, Rob 49. I don't know if I'm pronouncing this guy right, but Lil Tyler, Friday, Glorilla, Lola Brooke, Sleazy World Go, Real Boston Richie, and Central C. I know I kind of burped on that one, but Central C, UK grime rapper Central C, and they will be produced by, in the ciphers, Pierre Bourne. Now, when I first saw that list, of course, being 27 years old, I can't help but to look at a couple of those names like it's Chinese. Real Boston Richie was one of them. Sleazy. Well, I kind of was a little familiar with Real Boston Richie and Sleazy World Go. I knew one record. And besides that, though, I did know DC the Don right off rip, Rostrum Records. Finesse Two Times, I got hip to later last year. He's been having a good run, like him a lot. Friday, obviously, he's got a lot of great features. He was on Armani White's album. I thought that was a great one. Obviously, Glorilla with Tomorrow 2, Cardi B. Lola Brooks been doing her thing as well from New York. Pleased to see her on it. And I just got hit to Central C with his collab EP that he did with Dave, which I forget what the EP was called, but I know that the record on it that's going crazy is called Sprinter. And I do support that one a lot. Now, just give me 1 second to get this tobacco blunt lit. Strictly tobacco, YouTube. I think we should be made for kids, but apparently this means I can't be made for kids. High key, unfortunate. But there we go. We're off and running. Too Rare was another name I had no idea who that was. And then the other name that I thought was really interesting, that I had no idea who they were going in, was Tia Kareen. But now, as soon as I posted about, just being curious, like, what other people thought of the list, immediately I had like 3 people tell me, nah, Tia can rap. Tia can rap. And granted, that kind of gave me a little bit of a weird expectation going in because I'm thinking like, okay, here we're gonna get some bars, which don't get me wrong, she's got bars, but it just kind of came across as more like I want to say it was definitely like there's lyrical content to it, but at the same time, it's not in that traditional like not you're not gonna hear Tia over Derringer, but like she has a record with Kenny Mason I thought was really good. I want to say she had. Let me just take a look because I just added. I believe I added 3 of them. She has a record called Mine. I know that one off the top of my head. Let's see what else she got. Yeah, so on her EP, I Can't Wait from last year. I like the one with Kenny Beats. So not Kenny Mason, Kenny Beats called Shaka Khan. And then there's one with Tony Snow called Boogie, which I had no idea who the Tony guy was either, but they ended up being dope. I take it Danathan's not here yet? Danathan Daly, though, will be arriving shortly. For those that know him, friend of the show, great friend of the show, Sleepless Radio family, really, you could say. But yeah, so Tio is one of the names that jumped right out at me. I'm gonna be honest, Too Rare didn't quite grab me. Oh yeah, let's get that going. Yeah, I wondered why it seemed like I was a little bit in the dark over here. Thank you, thank you. See, look, rookie moves all the time, but like I said, I'm doing something different, so you got to work out the kinks. But Tia jumped out at me immediately. I know I definitely got to listen to more of her music. Definitely got to look more into that. But one thing that I did was able to do was I listened to at least 5 records from each of the people that I had no idea who they were. You can go to that one. There we go. Now y'all can see me, and I don't look like I'm the Dark Knight. Food lady. So that's cool. Tia jumped right out at me, though. I highly suggest that you guys give her a look. Obviously, I think Friday was a great addition. I don't think that he quite gets enough respect, even though, before I get into it, I know he's not on mine. But also Glorilla. If you guys aren't hip to Glorilla, come on now. I mean, I know you're hip to Tomorrow, too. Everybody, even Patrick Starr's heard of Tomorrow, too. So the more you dive into Glorilla, I mean, again, New York. I see New York a lot on this list, which is really cool. In fact, I see a lot of East Coast in general on this list. I know Friday, though, I'm pretty sure he's West, if I'm not mistaken. But one thing that I wanted to go over my list. So every year I always share my list, but I never get to go in depth like this. And it seems like y'all tend to give a fuck about my 2 cents, and I do appreciate it. And please feel free to drop me the names of people that you think I should mention. I know you guys have started to already. Let me know if if there's a name that I'm missing, if there's somebody that you feel like I'm leaving out. Share your whole list. Give me your 10. Let's see what you guys think. I'm also going to be sharing how I break down my ciphers so you can kind of see how I do it if I was in charge. So this is officially 2023 XXL Freshman List, curated by your one and only, the Ultimate Sensei. So to start off, to just give the list kind of how I have it in order before I break it down on ciphers. The male leading the class, Jay Skeese, signed to Drumwork Music, a.k.a. Conway the Machine's label. Jay Skeese I got hit to last year, the day after my wedding. Ever since then, I've just seen his career do what I call the Millennium Force climb. And we're still on the climb. Abolished Uncertainties came out. One of my most listened to albums of the year. One of my favorite albums of the year. Can he rap? That's an understatement. He's going to bar you to death, and then he's going to bring you back to life, and he's going to bar you to death twice over again. His production that he goes over, absolutely incredible. 2 songs that stand out to me the most on Abolished Uncertainties. If you're only a 2-song guy and you're like, let me know, what do I need to give this guy a chance? What you're going to do is you're going to go to Symmetry, featuring Conway the Machine, I believe track 5. Then you're going to go down to track 13, I believe, and you're going to go to Sideline Saga. However, though, you can't go wrong with the whole album. Literally can't go wrong with it at all. Red Kool-Aid, Jillian Hayes, come on now. That poem at the end, absolutely insane. To anybody out there that feels like, where's the new guys with substance? That you look no further than Jay Skeese. And I can't big him up anymore. There's every positive thing to say about him. I'll say it again. He's absolutely phenomenal. He's a breath of fresh air as an artist. Conway the Machine really got an eye out for that Buffalo talent. And my God, he's got one in Jay Skeese. So as far as snubs go from the XXL Freshman List, I would look at whoever is in charge and go, why not? Why is he not on? I mean, I get it politics wise and what the people want to see and all that, blah, blah, blah. But I think sometimes you got to remember what you need to put in people's faces to almost spoon feed it to them. And that's one of those that I think could have easily been on there. And as far as ciphers go, I think that might be one of the reasons they don't want my man on there, because that dude just next to all these guys on a cipher, like the rest of the class. I mean, come on, not knocking any of their talents, but Jay Skeese would just, I mean, he'd show you what it's like to actually like. I gotta watch how I phrase this, but like, what they call rap, like really, really bar them, give it that certain cadence, certain delivery. But Jay Skeese, I would say, leader of the class, easily, hands down. Again, abolished uncertainties. He's been putting out a lot of projects too. He had Pain Provided Profits with Conway the Machine, great collab album. That just came out. I think that came out a week before Abolished Uncertainties, actually. You had, I want to say it was Revolver Ocelot, came out last August, great album. And then, of course, you had the Iroquois Pliskin EP, which had Sometimes on it, which that was one of the first records that I heard by him, and that got me hooked instantly. So I got him leading the class as males. And then on the female side, which I know there's like a whole thing that went with this because she, kind of, I guess, thought she was above it. I mean, I know the whole story came out and said that like she missed it on her scheduling and it got too busy and hectic. But I think somebody in Ice Spice's corner told her that she's bigger than it. But to lead the females, I mean, no matter how you feel about her, I feel like you got to give it to Ice Spice. I mean, she's went from nobody knew who she was this time last year, at least in a grand big scheme of things, to Munch hits, and then now it's people are doing the white move on stage, and Ice Spice is making songs with Cardi for the Barbie soundtrack, and she's on Taylor remix features. Like, her run right now is just incredible, and I feel like the momentum's still running hot. She's running at top speed, and it doesn't plan on slowing down anytime soon. I'm pretty sure I don't have to tell you guys what Ice Spice records are here. I'm pretty sure if you haven't already heard them, you know where to find them. Yeah, I know if you have TikTok, you've most certainly probably heard them because I know she'd be cleaning it up on there, I'm sure, at least based on the stream count. But I got Ice Spice leading the females. Then to give another female, I'm going to keep the same one as the official list. I'm going to keep Glorilla. I think she most certainly deserves to be on there. She can rap, most certainly. And she had that great record with Tomorrow too, Billboard hit with Cardi. Again, I think the Glorilla train's just kind of getting started, and just hop on it and be along for the ride. Now, back to the males. I don't know where this guy's name was on the list, and I'm a little bit bamboozled, dumbfounded that Armani White is nowhere to be found on the XXL Freshman List. I mean, I feel like if I'm not mistaken, he's kind of had, I know it's not as big, but he's had a very similar run, I think, to Ice Spice. Granted, he's shown for years he can really rap. He's been putting in the work. The projects are dope. But I want to say it was Billie Eilish this time last year started going crazy. I remember it even took me a couple months to get hip to it, but I kept hearing about it. And I think that's incredible record. I mean, again, I know some people would debate Overplayed and everything, and TikTok blew it up, but shout out TikTok for blowing it up. That's good music, and he's got a great catalog to back it up. Billie Eilish came out. I want to say, what was the next one for Armani? I don't want to butcher the name. Right now, my favorite one by him is Silvertooth. I even got Wifey over here on Silvertooth. So his record was, Diamond Dallas. I forgot about that. Yeah, Diamond Dallas, which wrestling reference, Diamond Dallas Page. I thought that was dope. Silvertooth is a hit. He's got Goated with Denzel Curry. Proud of Me featuring Friday on the official XXL Freshman List. So definitely, if you're not hip to Armani White, besides Billie Eilish, I think Don't Be Stupid, Don't Play Yourselves, and Your Ears Will Thank Me Later. I actually have a lighter that just died. That's a new one. Do we have a backup lighter? Call in the reinforcements.
Which one died?
Playboy. But definitely think that Armani White should have been on the list. I don't know why he got left off. Again, incredible. I think he would have been great for the ciphers too. I think he could have been able to really shine. I think it would have been a great look. But again, maybe he's one of those that feels like he doesn't need it. Maybe he passed on it. I don't know the backstage politics of what he chose to do. But so far, 4 in. I got Jay Skeese. I got Ice Spice. I got Glorilla. And I got Armani White. Next name I think that needs to be on it and stays on it would be DC the Don. from Rostrum Records. First time I ever got hip to DC the Don, I think it was when he originally signed to Rostrum, and that was in 2020. And he has this record out called The Campfire Song. There's a bar on there where he says something like, I keep the stick like Harry Potter. And that bar is still stuck in my head. I love that bar. I know there's been 1,000,000,000 bars about sticks, but I think that might be one of my favorite stick bars. And the fact that he was able to reference Harry Potter was pretty dope. Thank you. Back up later. Always got to keep one in the chamber. But DC the Don, I definitely got to look more into his catalog to be fair, but he's been putting out a lot of good EPs, a lot of good projects and singles. Again, Rostrum Records. Love your Rostrum. Shit, I'll take a check. Love to sign. Love to talk about it. Hit me up, Rostrum. But DC the Don, happy to see him on the official list as well. I think his cipher is going to be fun. I think his acapella is going to be fun as well. I can tell he's always having fun when he's rapping, and that's always a great thing to hear. So I go DC the Don for my 5th. For number 6, I'm going to take it back to the Bars, capital Bars. I'm going to go with Fuego Bass from the Black Soprano family, signed to BCF, Benny the Butcher's label. Now, earlier this year, he put out an album. I want to say it was in February or maybe early March. It's called Biggest Sense Can Be. And I definitely had that in rotation for a good couple of weeks. In fact, I should probably go back and revisit it. But definitely got to go with Fuego Bass. Incredible project. Excited to see where he's going to go again. If I'm not mistaken, I do believe he's Buffalo affiliate. I believe at least somewhere around there. It seems to be what Benny and Con and West are all doing, trying to put on for the city, trying to put on for just New York culture in general. So I got Fuego Bass. Now, on the female flip side, I feel like this was a name that really truthfully got a big snub, like a big snub. Love the Genius, aka 7XVE the Genius. Why they don't have her on there? I mean, again, I think that goes to the whole politics thing of why they don't have somebody like a Fuego or a Jay. But I really think that they missed out on that one because, again, she can really rap. She's got a unique sound. I know she has been around for a minute as well, a couple years at least. She's been putting out great projects. If you're not hip to her, I say you definitely got to give her more of a look. Her catalog's great. She has a song called I want to say it's called Black Soul, but I just want to make sure I got it right. But I really started giving her a better look after I just heard her feature on Conway the Machine's album, and she was on Won't He Do It, the self-titled track of the album. And I believe it was the last track as well. And when it gets to her verse, I'm so glad Con let her go for like 2.5 minutes because that really put her on for me. Because that was like the wow, okay. And then it turned around a couple weeks later, and she just put out a great project produced by DJ Green Lantern called God dang, all these names, called The Genius Tape, produced by Green Lantern. And my 3 favorite on there are Biddy Mason, Back End Development, and Brainstorming featuring Conway. Another great one on there, too, is Neck Protected featuring Rome Streets. But as far as the record, Black Soul off of Love is Love, a.k.a. 7XV is Love. Highly recommend that. That's actually my favorite project of hers to date. But she also dropped Self Love 2 last year, which I thought was great. And then she obviously just dropped the project with Green Lantern. I think they really missed the mark on not having her on there. I think they did themselves dirty. Plus her feature on Big Ghost LTD and Jay Skeez's collab project last year. That also had Conway on the record too. And she was on Pain Provided Profits. Come on now. They slept on her. She was also on All In, Jay Skeez's Revolver Ocelot project last year. Yeah, I definitely think she was a name that should have been up there. Excited to tell you guys what I think I can do with how I would break down the ciphers as well. But the last couple of names that I wanted to mention, my last 3, so I've given my 7. For my 8th, I would go Big Boogie. He was actually the one that I voted for the 10th spot. He signed CMG Yo Gotti's label last year. Really would love to see him next to Finesse, that's for sure, because they have similar sounds, and I think they would have meshed greatly together. But you got Big Boogie, who I do believe, I know he's South. I want to say he's either Memphis or Georgia, one of the two. I'm definitely getting that sound big time from him at least. So Big Boogie would be my 8th. The name that I just mentioned that I would put as my 9th Finesse 2 times. I know he's been having a great run. I know he's got a couple records that are going pretty crazy. First off, the record that I think everybody should hear by Big Boogie, if you haven't already, is "Pop Out." Definitely recommend "Pop Out" if you like that kind of hard, aggressive kind of trap sound. He's definitely got it. Another one that has it though, my ninth pick, "Finesse 2 times." I'm terrible with names because I've been listening to just so much music. Let me see what his Schwitz is called. So his project last year that I liked a lot was called 90 Days Later. He had features on Overdose 2 times with 2 Chainz. He had CEO with Kevin Gates. He had Still With It, produced by Tay Keith. And then he had, I do believe it was Lil Uzi on If You Still With Me. And that was a great project. And then he also had Samo, which I thought was really good as well. And I was glad to see him on the official list. I do believe he as well did deserve to be on it. So I think that was a name you most certainly can't leave off. And that goes right into my 10th. Did not expect to have her in my 10, but after listening to it, like I said, Tia Kareen is in my 10th. I can tell by the features that she's getting, like the third feature, the Kenny Beats. I just have a good feeling that does seem to be like a name we're going to see for a while. And I feel like there's a huge Doja Cat influence in there that has not been addressed yet. So that's my official 10. Now let's go over how I break down these ciphers. So to start off, I'm going to tell you that I wouldn't have Pierre Bourne producing all of them, but I'm going to have Pierre Bourne producing my first one. I'm going to have this 3 as my first cipher lineup. Give me Ice Spice, give me Glorilla, give me Armani White, produced by Pierre Bourne, or DA Got That Dope. But I think since you already got Pierre Bourne, obviously they can get him. I think, hey, Pierre, can you come out here? And then you hear Glorilla start it. Then you hear Armani go and snap. Then you hear Ice Spice come in and polish it off and end it. Come on, I'm batting 1,000 here. I'm batting 1,000 here. Now that sounds like the arrival of Jonathan Daly. But yeah, I think that cipher would be absolutely incredible. Like I said, Armani can rap, Glorilla bringing it in, and then Armani comes in and just carries it for like a good minute. Then Ice Spice just comes in for like about 30 seconds. That'd be crazy. I think that'd be crazy. Produced by Pierre Bourne. And then next cipher, this one's going to bring out the bars. This one we get into bar territory. I'd say Jay Skeese, Fuego Bass, and Love the Genius, produced by Derringer or Conductor Williams. Take it either way. Probably lean more into Derringer, but I feel like Conductor might be a little bit slower. But Derringer, I feel like for sure. Or actually, we could put Conductor on the Ice Spice one. Let Ice Spice rap over Conductor. Hey, Conductor, we have a problem. Oh, apparently my pup's the conductor. I said, hey, Conductor, and she just started going nuts. Who's your XXL Freshman List, Ray Gun? Ray was sharing her XXL Freshman List. But, yeah, so I go Jay Skeese, Fuego Bass, Love the Genius, produced by Derringer. To start it off, now this one's a little tricky on how I lay it out, but I'm thinking let's go Fuego Bass to start it off. Then let's go Love the Genius, kind of right in the middle, even it out. And then come in with just Jay Skeese just giving an incredible iconic cipher verse. I'm talking like let him go for like 2 minutes, maybe even 2.5 if we're being generous. I could easily see them just tearing it up on a cipher, especially produced by Derringer. It'd be absolutely incredible to see that happen. Hey, you know you're killing it when even your dog's getting on board. But yeah, I think Jay Skeese, Love the Genius, and Fuego Bass would be absolutely incredible ciphering over a Derringer Conductor beat. Jonathan Daly Jr. the third. Yeah, can you give her a treat, please? But yeah, so far those being the 2 ciphers, I think Pierre producing the first one would be absolutely incredible. I think Derringer or Conductor, but like I said, I think Derringer makes a little bit more sense. And to finish it off on the cipher note, now this is where I think you got to stack 4. And I do this as produced by Wheezy. Wheezy out of here. But I'd have for that 4, I go DC the Don, Big Boogie, Finesse 2 times, Tia Kareen. Now this layout's the trickiest. But to start it off, I would say Okay. Ladies first. To start it off, I would say Tia Kareem, bring it in. Then I'd say follow that up with Finesse two times. Let Finesse two times go second. And then have Big Boogie come in at the end. So have DC the Don come on after Finesse. So DC goes third. Then you have Big Boogie come in at the end. Because, like I said, they have very similar sounds, at least I think so. So I wouldn't want them trying to kind of overly. I wouldn't want people listening without watching going, uh-oh, like, is that almost like the same guy? Oh, you're leaving us, honey? Her chair is being pushed back into the table, so to speak. She is going upstairs. Well, actually, it's not pull up a chair. But yeah, so for you not knowing what I'm doing here is I just wanted to cover XXL Freshman List for 2023. They just released it this past Monday.
Okay.
And I wanted to share my list as well and go a little bit in depth, which is what I just did.
Gotcha.
So to just reiterate one more time, as you know, I'll say the 10 throughout. I think first cipher would be Ice Spice, Glorilla, Armani White, produced by Pierre Bourne. Then give me J Skis, Fuego Bass, Love the Genius, produced by Derringer second. Then give me DC the Don, Big Boogie, Finesse two times, and Tia Kareem, produced by Weezy Adi. So that would be my 2023 XXL Freshman List. We'll be tagging all those artists in the video as well. I had a lot of fun doing this, getting ready to crack some brews, get some tunes going, and get some J's pearled, get some dabs heated up, get some blunts rolled and pearled, whatever you guys may do. About to be going live soon for Sleepless Radio episode 149. I got Pearl Jam. He's got Stone Temple Pilots. This was my 2023 XXL Freshman List cover. As I said, go check out all those records if you want to get hip. If I left some out, which again, think I did when I was going over a couple artists, but I'll definitely be sharing those as well with the video as I promote it throughout the week. To everybody tuned in live that has tuned in live, thank you. I do appreciate the love as always. We're just getting started on this beautiful Sleepless Saturday. We got Sleepless Radio episode 149 coming up next with a little bit of a couple jams going on in the pre-show action. Tomorrow we got Pull Up a Chair episode 44 where we talk about everything from sports to pro wrestling to TV to movies to music to Titanic ships being swallowed up by the ocean. And on that note, we will see you guys tomorrow. Keep the love high and the hate low. And we will see you guys soon for Sleepless Radio episode 149. Thank you guys for being tuned in. Love.
Peace out.